Hey friend, I'm Gustafson. I help beginners like you launch their assisted living business in the next 12 months. Super excited to have you here with me today on assisted living investing. Our topic for today is don't fall into those empty promises of investing in assisted living. I want to have a really heart-to-heart conversation with you about exactly what it is to invest in assisted living. So if you're interested in that, make sure you stick around for today's video. Hey friend, before we get started, I want to remind you to get over to the website assistedlivinginvesting.net so you can get your free underwriting calculator. It's the big blue box in the top right corner. You can go grab that free resource. It's going to tell you, hey, is this going to actually make sense for me to move forward with and get into assisted living investing or not? Now with that said, let's get into the topic for today's video. I don't want you to fall into some empty promises with investing in assisted living. I think a lot of people, they watch a YouTube video, they watch something that says, hey, $10,000 per month per facility, super easy to do. It's not a headache at all. And while there's some truth to that, I'm going to have a really heart-to-heart conversation with you, be super honest and transparent about what it actually takes to get into assisted living so you can decide, hey, is this really the thing that I want to do or not? And then make an invitation to you to work with me in one of my programs if you do want to be working, because I can help you along that path and along the process to launching your assisted living business. So the first thing that I want you to know is the money is absolutely real inside of assisted living. But so is the work. There's a lot of work that goes into owning your own assisted living business, into trying to launch this business. You have to manage a ton of people. You have to manage the residents. You have to manage the staff. You've got to manage the families. You've got to take care of food budgets. There's a lot of finances that go into it. There's so much involved inside of the world of assisted living that, oh man, it can feel overwhelming. Now, can you make that $10,000 per month? Absolutely, you can. But it might not happen immediately, might not happen overnight, but it is something that you can get to. It could be a few months, could be over a year, but you can absolutely get to that point where you're making that $10,000 per month on one home, which is pretty incredible when you think about it, right? So here's what others are not going to tell you. Owners, you get paid last. Like, you're the last person that gets paid. You have to make payroll. You've got to buy the food. You have to do all of those things first. You don't get to have that money up front. As much as you're getting, $40, $50, $60, $80,000 per month in that gross income that's just coming in, you don't really get to see the net of that until after you've paid all of the expenses, which can be a lot. It's very expensive to run this business. So I just want to be transparent with you on that. It may also take you months for you to fill your home. So if you're starting something from the ground up, you're doing a conversion on a house, it can take you quite a while to get the beds filled at that house. And so that's something you want to take into consideration. Even if you're buying an existing business, which is what I love doing, it's how I got started. If your beds are not full, it can still take you a while to build up the relationships that you need to get your beds filled. So when your beds are not filled, you have to remember that, let's say it's $5,000 per bed per month that a resident's paying you. If you're going to make that $10,000 per month for a house, what you're going to find is that's 2 residents above your break-even point. Okay, it's just 2 residents. So if your census is 2 residents below and you're at your break-even point, then you're just breaking even. You're not getting that $10,000. And if you have 1 less than that break-even point, now you're losing $5,000. If you're 1 resident below that, you're losing $10,000 a month. So this business, while it can be very profitable, it can flip on its head really, really quick and make it so that you are losing money. So that's why I teach you so much about underwriting, why it's so important for you to understand the finances of this business and not go into it with some rosy picture that everything's going to be great, because it could be, but also it might not be. So I just want to be real with you. If you want help in understanding exactly how that's going to work, make sure you go to assistedlivinginvesting.net and grab the free underwriting calculator. That's what I've created it for, so you don't get upside down quickly, or you know what to anticipate as you're trying to get things started, because this is a business and it takes a lot out of you to get the beds filled and to make sure that you're hitting those profit margins. I have another tool for you as well. If you want to figure out, hey, what's the best way for me to get into this? Is it better for me to start from the ground up, or is it better for me to buy an existing facility? I have my Profit Path tool. So if you go to assistedlivinginvesting.net/profit path, and we will link that down below, you can get access to a free tool that I've created for you that's going to just give you a little bit of extra insight into which of these paths is going to be better for me. And if buying an existing facility is going to get me more profitable a little more quickly, do I want to have that, or do I want to buy something that's a new home and do a renovation, or build something from the ground up and get it how I want it to be? Which of those things is more important to me based off of the pathway to profitability? That tool is going to help you out a ton with that. So go to assistedlivinginvesting.net/profit path. That's going to give you the tool that you need to figure out which of these scenarios is going to be best for you. The other thing that I want to point out to you is, while that $10,000 a month is certainly possible, and we just gave an example of what that looks like where you have your break-even point, and if you're above that, then cool, you got profit. There's also going to be all kinds of other things that come up. You're now a business owner, right? So you're going to have to make repairs, or there's going to be an emergency, or staff's going to turn over and you might have to get a staffing agency, or you got to have more staff in at a given time to train the new staff. So there's going to be extra expenses. So while yes, you can get that gap, you can get that real $10,000 a month, and you can do that, you've got to take into consideration there's so many other things that are going into this. So if you're comfortable with that, then you're going to be fine. If you're just like a little washy on it, then honestly, this business might not be for you. So I just want to be very transparent with you. You're probably watching this video because you like it, so you gave it a thumbs up. But also, you're watching it because you're trying to figure out, is assisted living right for me? And that's what I'm trying to do and trying to teach you. And that's why the underwriting calculator that I give you is such a valuable piece of information that's going to help you make progress as you're trying to launch your assisted living business. The next thing that I want to tell you is, you're the boss, which is great, but in assisted living, you're often also going to be like the backup dishwasher. You're going to be the person that's got to go cover an extra shift here or there, and that is something that's possible. I own my facilities out of state, and when I started doing that, it was a little bit unintentional. It was just something that I kind of fell into. But as I have owned these facilities now since 2020, what I have found is that works really well for me, because when something bad happens, and something bad is going to happen, I've got to rely on my staff to get it taken care of. And it's really hard to just kind of wash your hands of that and trust somebody to do it, especially if you're a control freak. But if you are out of state, or you're doing something that it forces you to put trust in other people, it can make this business a lot easier. Otherwise, you are the person that's going to be there on call. You're going to be going and covering shifts. You're going to be there every weekend, every night. You're going to be doing a lot of extra stuff. So that's something that I want you to be aware of. You either need to hire people and set boundaries, like real boundaries for yourself, or consider doing this out of state, which is something that I've done as well. And as the owner of a facility, you're going to hear all the complaints. You're going to get the complaints from your staff, from your residents, and probably the ones that are the worst to handle, honestly, are from the families. Now, you could be having the most amazing business, you're doing all these extra amenities, you're creating the best atmosphere ever, and people are still going to be unhappy with you. So you have to have a little bit of tough skin and realize that's going to happen. And you're going to have to deal with that as you're trying to launch your assisted living business. I get it. I've had some very rough conversations with residents and their families about situations that they're going through. Now, perception is key in what you're looking at there, and you can never take those things personally. But in an instance where it's real, you do have to address those things. It's how you're going to continue to build trust. But there are situations where it's just like, I don't know, that big a deal. That's just how we do that. And you're going to have to understand, what's real and what's not, and how are you going to progress as you're trying to figure out how to run and operate your assisted living business in the way that you feel is best for you and for your residents. In addition to that, you're just going to run into business owner problems. So some of the things that you might hear from your staff are, hey, credit card's not working, we can't buy groceries, and crap, I gotta make a payment on the credit card, or I gotta figure out what's going on there, or do we need to increase the limit, or those types of things. You're in charge of that. The toilet's not working. What do? We can't flush the toilet, the pump in there is broken, it's leaking, it's going all over the place. You're gonna have to do that unless you have a handyman or you have a property manager or something like that. Sometimes the administrator can do it, sometimes they can't, sometimes they don't have time for it, sometimes they just don't have the know-how of how to handle those. We've had situations like that in our facilities where luckily we were up at the facilities because we operate out of state, and we were able to fix some of the plumbing issues that were happening in the moment. Otherwise, it would have been hundreds of dollars to make fixes on toilets, basically. And so you need to expect that these types of things are going to happen. There really is not a lot of sit back and relax when it comes to this type of business. I know other places, other people that you listen to on YouTube are going to tell you that it's possible. And sure, it is. It's entirely possible that you could have something that's extremely passive, but you're going to pay a premium for that. And so if you want to get that $10,000 per month, you're probably going to need to be involved in the business. And being involved in the business means all of these extra phone calls and all of these extra little things that are happening as you're trying to launch your assisted living business. So I just want you to be aware of that. This is not an entirely passive business. You're going to have to be involved at some level, unless you're one of those bigwigs that's doing the big box facilities and you have 100 of them. In that case, you've hired all the people to do things, but then you're making much bigger decisions. This is not a passive investment. This is something that you have to be active in, and something you should be active in, so that you are serving your residents in a way that they deserve to be served. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is it's going to take a lot of time. There are healthcare regulations. This is a thing that I see pretty frequently inside of Facebook and YouTube comments and things like that you're worried about the regulations. And I've worked in the healthcare industry since 2013. A really long time, and I have a really good understanding of exactly what it takes to be in this industry and how you're going to progress and make good decisions. But one day you're going to have the regulations, and you're going to get to a point where you're like, oh cool, I finally have figured out all the regulations. I know exactly what to expect. And then you're going to get an email the next morning, and they're all going to change, and you're going to have to adjust your policies and procedures. You're going to have to prepare for exactly how that's going to impact you and your residents and your staff and all of the things that go into that. There's constant change, and those regulations that come in are important. You have to adhere to them. Otherwise, you're going to get a fine. You're going to get some kind of a ding on your survey, which can reduce your standing and perception as a facility. So you have to stay on top of these things, and it takes a lot of time to understand what each of those things are and how you're going to address it so that you can be successful in owning and operating your own assisted living business. You're going to need to make sure that you have some really good training processes in place for your staff as well. And that is a non-stop process. You will have so much turnover with your staff. It's just the nature of this business. And you're going to have to train them. You're going to have to work with them and try to help them understand exactly what they're doing, what they're getting into, so that they can operate the way that they need to and take care of the residents that they need to take care of. But you're going to have to do training. That can be online training, can be in-person training, can be training with your nursing staff that you have that's going to probably be part-time at your small facility. But you're going to need a little bit of access there to these individuals. You're going to need to be training these individuals so that they can do the things, carry out their duties in a way that they're supposed to. And you kind of create this, franchise model of training people. Go read the book E-Myth Revisited as an example. I'll try to link that down below for you as well so you can see it. But creating processes and training is key to your ability to running a successful assisted living business. And it's a constant thing. You're going to have to be looking for a bunch of different options on how you're going to train your staff so that they are doing what they're supposed to do and caring for your residents. Another really big thing, and it's super important, is building relationships. This business is a relationship building business. It's key to what you do. You're going to have to do this with your staff, with your residents, with their families, with all the other people that you're trying to build referral networks with. You have to be out there. You have to be communicating. You have to be developing relationships with people. It's absolutely key for you to do that, because otherwise people's feelings will get hurt, or you run the risk of not having a funnel to bring new residents into your facilities. These are all things that you need to be paying attention to. And if you let them slip just a little bit, you're going to lose out on quite a bit of the ability to keep your residents happy and keep your beds filled, which is the lifeblood of your business, and helping you fill the beds and get the money flowing so that you can run that successful and profitable business. So with all of that said, if I did not scare you away, and a little bit of that is I'm trying to, because this is hard. It's not easy to run this business. It's difficult. but it is absolutely worth it. Despite all of the things and the headaches and the time and the effort that goes into it, and recognizing that, you know, there's this financial potential that's great, but also you swing it just a little bit the other way and then you're losing money. All of those things considered, it's difficult, but it is so worth it to be in this business. So I do hope that you consider getting into assisted living. It's meaningful, it's rewarding, it's a great investment. There's some great cash flow potential there, and it's a great long-term investment as well with the real estate that's involved. With all of those things, if you are interested and you need some help in figuring out how to do this, I would love to help you. Go check out assistedlivinginvesting.net/basics. I have a community that is specific to helping people like you launch their assisted living business. We do monthly Q&A calls in there. You have access to me to ask me questions. We have weekly tips and tricks to help you get started and get you unstuck so that you're making real progress towards launching your assisted living business. Again, go to assistedlivinginvesting.net/basics for more information on exactly how I can help you out in doing that in our membership. Super excited to see you in there and help you along your path to launching your assisted living business. So with that, we've talked about a lot here in this video. We've talked about how the money is real, but so is the work. You're the boss, but you're also going to be doing a lot of those backup duties. It's going to take you quite a bit of time, but also it is so worth it with the impact that you get to have on people's lives. If you found this video to be helpful, I would love if you could like the video, subscribe, and ring the bell as well. We put out content like this 2 times a week. We go live on Tuesdays. We put out content like this on Thursdays to help you get the help that you need in launching your assisted living business. Go check out ALI Basics at assistedlivinginvesting.net/basics. And I'd love to help you along your path as you're trying to launch your assisted living business. Does residential assisted living sound interesting to you, but you don't know how to get started? At Assisted Living Investing, I'm here to help beginners like you launch their assisted living business in the next 12 months. I love helping and coaching people. I would love to help you along your journey. And remember, it doesn't take a lot, just a little bit. Just keep going step by step by step. And I promise you, if you do and you're consistent and persistent, you're going to be successful. Thanks for watching and have a great day.